I'm Kim and welcome back to my studio. Today I'm going to show you step by step how to paint a calming beach scene. To start off, I have my darkest blue color here and I'm going to dab a few little sections on the top 2/3 of the canvas. Next, I'm going to take the lighter blue color and add some dollops in between. Lastly, I have more of a turquoise color here and I'm just going to add a few drops of this just in between at various places just to add in some visual interest to our waves here. Alright, so I'm going to get my small sponge here and I'm going to start dabbing these three colors together. Being careful not to overly mix them so it doesn't end up one uniform blue color, I'm going to slowly mix in the three colors together so we end up with this beautiful gradient effect for our water. We're going to work on our beach, so I'm going to start with this light brown here, a bit of a reddish brown, and I'm going to add some of that to my canvas as well as some white as well. I'm going to mix these two colors together and we're going to create the sand. Mixture right to my canvas, and I'm not going to be too careful about getting too close to the waves because we're going to be adding some surf over top of this as well. So your lines here don't have to be perfect. We just want to get kind of close to the waves, but we don't have to worry too much about there being gaps or overlapping at all. So to finish off the beach, I'm going to add some rough texture in just to make the sand look a little bit more sandy. So I've dipped my brush into the brown color and I'm going to flick it onto the canvas to add a little bit of speckles and visual interest to the sand. And I'm going to do that with the white as well, just to pile it up and add some more texture there. Now that I'm happy with my sand, I'm going to get a darker brown color and add that to my canvas. And I'm going to use a really small brush here and just trace the edge of the sand where the sand meets the surf, just to add a bit of shadow there where the surf may have crept over the sand and then receded after. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then now I'm going to add a outline of a heart there traced into the sand. So I'm going to add two little hearts just side by side as kind of a cute detail in the sand. more 3D, so I'm going to go back into that original sand color, and I'm just going to trace lightly around the top of the hearts as well as a bit of the inner corner, just to make it look like someone has put their fingers in the sand and they pushed some sand aside in order to make these hearts here. And I also want them to overlap a little bit as well, so it looks like the smaller heart was created after the first bigger heart. I like the way this looks, and so I'm going to take that same color and I'm also just going to add it along the edge of the sand and surf here, just to soften that line a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to do a really quick dry here in order to make sure that everything's dry before I add the surf over top. So you can either leave your painting for a little bit or you can speed up the process like I did with my blow dryer. Once that's dry, I'm gonna get lots of white and add it to my canvas. And then I'm gonna pick up a new small sponge that hasn't been dirtied yet or doesn't have any other colors on it. And I'm just gonna dab this in, getting a generous amount of white, and I'm gonna start adding it right on the shoreline there, just covering up the gap that we added between the surf and the sand. So just going along the shoreline here, I'm just taking it slow, adding more and more paint. So I want it to be thickest right where the water meets the sand. And then I'm using any leftover paint on my sponge and kind of just trailing it outwards so we can create this effect where the wave looks like it's biggest at the shore, but then just trailing off towards the deeper water. So take this part slow, just keep gradually adding white. It's much easier to add paint than it is to take away, so take your time with this and just keep building up this effect until you're happy with the end result. Stop here. I'm really happy with the way things turned out, and I don't want to over-index too much on the white. So this part is optional. I've just decided I want to add in some more of the darker shadows to the edge where the surf meets the sand, just because I lost some of it with the white. So I'm just going to add some final touches here, and then we are finished with our painting. Thank you for watching until the end, and I hope to see you in the next painting tutorial.